Hello everybody, hope you're doing well. Welcome back to another video. This is my May update for Les Misérables by Victor Hugo. If you don't know, I am reading this book one chapter a day throughout the whole year, and this is just spoiler filled about sort of what's happening in that certain month's chapters. Mostly for my own sake, so I don't forget, but also if other people are interested in this journey. It's actually the third week of May now. I'm into the third week. Nothing really has happened. It's just been a lot of just dense writing about the convent where I left you in last month's video of Petit Picus. I've pronouncing it wrong, I know, but we ended it on page 3435 or something, and just until sort of like another 20-ish pages was just about other people in the convent and about like the boarding house that's attached to it where like young girls are, and just like different buildings and sort of like how the order and stuff sort of like went like down in sort of like popularity and disrepair and stuff in a way. I don't know if that's like in the modern time or like when he's writing thinking back or before the events of the story. I'm not 100%. But anyway, then we came to an issue in that we got to book 7 parentheses, which is in the appendix at the back. So I wasn't sure if the 365 chapters included the 2 parts that are in the appendix or not. So I instead counted all the chapters. I found something online that just sort of like tells you the name of each of them, and for some reason this is sort of like how I was writing on a receipt and sort of counting it, but I counted that there was 354 chapters. So I don't know if that's because I miscounted a book or something, you know, because the parts are separated into books and then chapters, which is quite a possibility. That, or the English translation maybe just doesn't have all of the chapters, but that's where I got to. But that was including the appendix 1, so I was like, okay, I have to read the appendix 1s now. So after I got to there, I went to the appendix and I read the first one. I mean, it wasn't that long. It was like about 10-11 pages, but they were very long-winded basically. And in that section he was just sort of talking about convents and monasteries and sort of like the role and place of religion and how it sort of feels like a prison in some sense. But he's very, very contradictory, because he says something and he says the exact opposite afterwards, so you don't really fully know what he's trying to say. But he's just basically, I think at the end he's just summarizing his sort of like adoration of religion, but I may be mistaken. But yeah, that was just long. And then we went back to the actual, you know, storybook, and I've read quite a bit now. I've just surpassed the 500 mark, including the parentheses bit, and here it's just about the man that he first saved when he was Madeleine and the gardener of the convent, Fauchelevent, butchered that 1,000,000%, but he is sort of like helping Valjean and Cosette, and he was just like saying how like that you have to get back out so you can come back in, and the gardener guy sort of like makes sort of like a deal with the main like mother nun person, because she wanted him to do something that's like not usually done, sort of like put a woman that recently died into the like underneath the convent or something, instead of being taken away and buried in a proper cemetery like she was supposed to be. And so sort of like they're sort of like indebted to him in a way for doing this, and also, you know, not like telling authorities and stuff. So there was like an empty coffin, so Valjean said like, I'll go in the coffin and be taken out and you can get me out after. This was just like a little bit after he took Cosette in his sort of like rucksack sort of thing and took her to this woman like that had like a grocery shop or something, I'm not sure. But then they're at the cemetery and he thinks that his old like friend who was like a drunk was going to be the grave digger, but it's actually this new guy, because his old friend died. And so he's thinking like, okay, I need to find you a way to like get you away so I can get Valjean out. It's a bit of like a fiasco in a way, but it's fine. Obviously it made me very, very stressed because like being buried alive and like sort of like that sort of thing is like a major like fear of mine. I just like, it's just sends shockwaves like to my soul. I could never, it's really ill thinking about it. But he's sort of like trapped a little bit. But anyway, he works it out and he gets out, and then foul person brings Valjean and Cosette back into the convent like properly and says like, this is my brother. Old Time, he gave him the name Old Time because that was his name of his actual brother, but he died now. I just thought it's just such a very like a strange name. I've never heard of that, Old Time. And he is sort of like there to like help out being another gardener, and Cosette has joined the boarding school with the other girls. And yeah, it seems like things are a bit more stable now because they're like hidden and like it's not somewhere Javert would like ever think to look. And yeah, so I think it's mostly going okay. I don't really have any like specific quotes or anything to share with you, but now we are going on to part 3, Marius. Oh, and the first chapter is only like 1 page. I love that. And we're into book 1, Paris in Microcism, I believe that's how it's pronounced. Yeah. Okay. Let's see who Marius is. I haven't heard his name before in the story. Also, I think I've stopped using the proper bookmark just because it was getting like hard to like pull it to the where it was in the section. I'm just using an old receipt, but I may go back, but obviously it's not really important. But yeah, final update of 2 in my May, reading of Les Mis. I read the first 6 chapters of Marius book. Honestly, nothing's really happened. It's just talking about like an urchin and sort of like the Paris urchin and who they are and like sort of like what they think and what they do and where they are in the city. But that is practically it. I'm hoping we're going to get to a bit more story soon and get introduced to an actual character and things like that. But I know how he goes on and on and on before he gets back to it. So patience is key. Patience is a virtue. Come back for the June update for hopefully some more plot, and enjoy the rest of your month. I don't know if I will. See ya.